porn, the great weapon that is being used to destroy monogamous relationships, families, men and women. It's quite a weapon, it's quite evil, and it's being pushed everywhere. And so we're going to give an example here using this character, Penguinz0 here, who is a shill on YouTube, who is always dressed in white and black, of course, to represent the base consciousness. And here he is programming his listeners into how wonderful porn is and what a great thing it is and how all our lives benefit from it. This is every day on YouTube. Popular YouTubers are doing this type of shit. So I'm going to show this YouTube community, and you're not going to allow a copyright strike or a community guidelines strike because this is important stuff. I'm trying to protect the youth and kids from this type of normalization of porn consumption and inform people about what they're doing. So yeah, no copyright strikes, please. So we're going to listen into this. I'm just going to show you how it's done. And if you're not familiar with this guy, well, he's got 3.2 million subscribers on YouTube. He's got millions of followers around the world. He puts out a tweet, it gets 100,000 retweets. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, and he plays video games. So he plays video games for a living on Twitch and shit, and he comes on YouTube and he puts up these types of bullshit story videos. They're just completely concocted, you know. And they're just to help normalize the agendas, to normalize the sexual confusion, the depopulation, the sexual degeneracy, right? The consumption of porn, the consumption of junk food, the consumption of video games, the suspended childhood, all the things that I've been showing everyone for years, if people were paying attention, these people are up to. So we're going to listen into this. Let's take it away here, Penguins.
Porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize. The great porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers.
The great uniter, the one force that ties strangers to strangers. What a wonderful, wholesome, nutritious thing porn is. Eh?
In a way they don't even realize. The one thing every human being has in common.
Every human being has in common. When Philip DeFranco, or Philip DeFucktard more aptly called, normalizes, when Chunk Yogurt and all these characters within the media, Zionist, New World Order shills within the media, normalize porn and the consumption of porn, they're actually committing an extreme act of evil, which is here. And this is the whole thing. It's like half the internet is porn. Who runs the porn industry? Look into the corporation called MindGeek, which is run out of here in Montreal. It's quite nasty. And porn is pushing all these things. One of the biggest things that porn pushes is interracial and all that, especially when it comes to white and black, which is another way to just really program a lot of people into all kinds of nasty things. It's really crazy what they're doing with the porn industry. Quite evil, but it's almost the same what they're doing with YouTube and Facebook and everything else. The normalization of this just confusion and degeneracy and turning inside out and upside down. It's all over the place. But yeah, let's play that little part again.
Porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize. The one thing every human being has in common. The love of porn. The art of porn. The ethereal beauty of the craft. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I used to watch the same porn video for the better part of 2 years, perhaps a little longer than 2 years, but I'm going to say 2 years just to err on the side of caution. I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut.
Not sure if you can spot that behind him is a character from the Phantom Menace. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that character and the religious group that he is pantomiming. I don't think it's any accident. Just like I don't think any of the black and white is an accident. Not at all. This is all part of your programming. These people are evil. They really are. And just look at the way. It's like everyone is united. Everybody watches porn. Everybody consumes it. Everybody loves it. Enjoy your programming is what they're saying. It's really quite evil. And there's no way YouTube would ever come in and censor a person like this. These people are basically YouTube employees. They're constantly trending. They get millions and millions of views. They make shit tons of money. Now, this guy doesn't have to be in a shitty room with a shitty setup with a white t-shirt on. This is all part of the act because they're pantomiming what a typical sort of, 20-something, 30-something-year-old gamer who's been heavily conditioned, heavily programmed might exist like, right? It's quite devious what they're up to. Anyways.
The moment. And then I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic, watered down, bullshit, meaningless version of OCD.
Talking about OCD as well, normalizing mental illness. Let's talk about your mental illness. You see this? All these agendas coming forth. Like it's just perfectly normal for somebody to have OCD. Well, I have OCD. I have depression. I have this. I have that. I have bipolar. I have attention deficit. I have this. I have that. I take pills. Normalize it. Come out. Talk about it.
Where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually
It's pretty funny.
means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years.
Watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. So this just came out today. Probably has quite a bit more views by now. Let's say 150,000. So it came out just today. We'll just refresh it here for a second.
Porn.
Right? Yeah. So he'll probably get 500,000 or more views, judging on how many views this guy gets. Huge influence. Gazillions of people, supposedly. I mean, of course, a lot of this is artificial. A lot of this is astroturfed to make it seem like the illusion that everyone's buying into this and everyone loves it. And somebody wrote a comment here. So technically, he watched gay porn for 2 years straight. Remember, just recently, Logan Paul, go gay for a month, hashtag, right? He was going to go gay for a month. And then, the media came out and said, well, are you really doing that? Mom, what are you watching, son? Me, shows the video. Mom, nice of you to support the homeless. Proud of you. I watched the same porn video for 2 years here. What's happened next? And you won't believe it, right? And then his Twitch account. Now his show is Moist Meter. MM33. Always the same. Always the same with the tribe. Always the same.
Very bad OCD. Not your generic, watered down, bullshit, meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video.
Nice pair of lesbians. So how many people do you think watching this are going to search that up? Remember what I said just recently in a video where I showed here, Pornhub reveals what women are searching for in honor of International Women's Day, which is an affront to women to begin with, because it's all about anything but being a mother. Be a worker, be an activist, be a Captain Marvel girl, but don't be a mother. Fight against men, fight against everything, because everything's working against you, but don't be a mother. Don't think of family. Have your me time, right? Your me too, my me time, time's up. And so the horrible porn industry, Pornhub here, reveals what women are searching for in honor, and it's on Mashable, your Disney media. So of course, what are women looking for? What do you think it is, folks? Can you guess? I showed this, of course. Lesbian. It's pretty evil what's going on, YouTube community. I hope the YouTube community is not partaking in this type of absolute horrible sort of New World Order programming. I really do. I mean, I really don't hope. Here's his front channel here with his creepy sort of symbolism here. This is what they're doing to people. And you see he plays video games. He has podcast. And he has his Moist Meter, his 33. Where they get you. And you see the amount of views, 360K, 304. You know, the guy gets massive amounts. 1.6 million views, 2.9 million views. Right here he's playing Overwatch right there. You see the related channels on the side here. All your Zio media. Again and again sort of thing. It's pretty crazy, folks.
video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. The video still exists. I know, I get emails all the time like, hey, I found that lesbian porn that you used to jerk off to, you know, used to haunt your fucking boners. Here it is. Yes, I know it's still on the internet.
Now
but
think about this too. There's no age restriction on this. Any kid could watch this. This guy's going to give detailed descriptions of how he masturbates and the whole ritual that he would go through. Just think about this. You know, when I show that, you know, top YouTube videos like Shane Dawson, Tana Mongeau getting up on top of him, pissing, Tana Mongeau watching people fuck right in front of her and reacting to it live, and YouTube doesn't do a damn thing. These people are getting gazillions of subscribers. I don't know. America, you have to get back. You have to get your country back. I mean, this is just crazy shit that's going on. They are fucking with us in the worst of ways. So I'll skip ahead here. He'll get into his whole description of how his whole routine, what he would do, how he would set himself up to watch this lesbian video.
They're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you, as if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. It was a really weird routine, it really was. To kind of give you a brief oversight of all of it, I'm not going to walk you through every step that I would do here. In fact, I don't even remember all of them anymore. But before I would watch the video, I would queue it up and let it all buffer and load, because this was a long time ago, and I'm fucking using RedTube, so obviously it's a long time ago. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video so that way I couldn't see them and they couldn't see me, obviously. And I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from zero to hero.
All right, so he's saying in this video that for 2 years was his sexual routine. He's not talking about girlfriends. He's like, there's no girlfriends. It's just a man in a room, a black and white room, every day going through the same routine, consuming his porn, relying on lesbians, of all things, to get off. They want you to mimic this behavior, people. That's pretty sick.
So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action.
Remember, there's no age restriction or anything. This is just YouTube 101. There could be little kids watching this right now, listening to this, and then thinking, well, I'm going to go and search for that video, and I'm going to get naked and watch it and shit.
As it would start, I would say hello to the girls, and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing. And then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck. And I would love to remember exactly all the shit that I would say.
If you like these people, you're a bad person. You have been mind controlled. These are terrible, terrible people. I mean, this is an awful thing, right? I mean, what the fuck is this shit? Just think about this. This is perfectly kosher for YouTube, 2019. Now, super popular channels can put out total bullshit videos telling stories about how they stroke themselves to watching lesbians fist each other up the butthole. Just think about that for a second. While at the same fucking time, people like me can't even look at news events and examine them as they're happening. We can't even discuss whether or not we think certain events went down as the corporate media is putting out. But these guys can go on and they can, you know, wax eloquently about their fucking depraved sort of pseudo porn fantasies, which are just totally concocted, total bullshit to begin with. These characters are a dime a dozen on YouTube. They're all over YouTube. There's a gazillion of them. They do the same thing every day. They have story time. They're total bullshit stories. They lie like fucking crazy. They're just completely concocted. And all the stories are the same, where it's pushing the degeneracy, the sexual sort of degeneracy, the consumption of all the things that are really bad for you, the the porn first and foremost, but you know, the video game sort of addiction, the suspended childhood, the fast food, the junk food, the Doritos, the Red Bull, all that crap. That all of the gaming realm is pushing this shit all the time. It's mind-boggling to see how evil this shit is and how prevalent it is. It is YouTube. It's all over YouTube. It's really crazy. YouTube community, what the fuck is going on? I mean, seriously, if you're working for this corporation, what the fuck is going on with this shit? Don't you have any sort of, you know, feelings of like, wow, this is not right? There's something wrong with this? Or have you been brought up in the Rainbow Unicorn sort of New World Order mind control to the point where you actually stand and defend this type of clear shilling, clear fucking, you know, raping of people's minds? It's really, really nasty. I don't know.
I don't necessarily want to see underage me jerking himself off into the webcam or anything. I could skip that part. But I at least want to see what I was saying to the girls during the video.
Yeah, you want to see that. Yeah,
facial expressions, words and things I would say to the girls. It was always the same. I had to make sure I said the same things to the girls. Yeah. I had to make sure I made the same facial expressions. I even made sure to keep track of licking my lips. I had certain time marks where I felt I needed to lick my... Mind you all that it's not fucking there. It's a goddamn crime. It's a fucking sin what they've done removing that. But now, to tie it back to the title of the video, I watched the lesbian porn for 2 years. Here's what happened. What happened is I recognized how weird it was, and I started to really combat my OCD, and I started cheating on the porno by watching other videos. I did. I'll come out and say it. I fucking cheated on that porn video and watched other ones. And that's what happened. I stopped being so fucking weird through a lot of effort to try and combat my OCD rituals. I've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to get into how I did that or the steps I took. But that's the result of watching porn for 2 years. You feel like a fucking degenerate loser, and then eventually you stop, hopefully, if you try hard enough. But anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you all.
There you go. Normalizing the consumption of porn. And everybody else falling in line. Just, right? It's just total brainwashing, folks. It really is. I watched lesbian kissing videos for YouTube for 6 months straight when I was 12. Just think about that. I can still remember how weak my cum shot was when I jerked off for the first time. When I was 7, I discovered hentai on my brother's computer, secretly used to watch them until one day my brother caught me. You know, they used to do it with the Playboy, Penthouse, and Hustler magazines, where the father would be encouraged to buy these things, and he would have to store them somewhere, and it was all because the sons would find the porn, right? And then in the porn, the magazines, the Penthouse letters, all the really sick, sort of perverted New World Order perversions, you know, cheating, having group sex, gay sex, all these things being, you know, programmed into people through all the different channels that they're using. Now the porn is just everywhere, right? Where it used to be in your daddy's closet, now it's a click of a button and it's there. And you can see in the comment section here all these people talking about growing up on porn, right? Kids growing up. And of course he's not a Christian. You're a Christian? Shake my head. He's no Christian. There's no fucking way he's a Christian. So, anyways, your moist meter, your Zio New World Order programming, the degeneracy that they're programming people into, really awful stuff. I think you should quit, you should delete your channel, and you should come back and apologize to everybody for what you're doing. But I know you won't, so fuck you. But, yeah. Anyways, leave me your thoughts. It's pretty exhausting, you know, because it's like, how do we fight this, you know? Like, it's not like this video is going to get 1.4 million views, right? I mean, it's probably going to get 1,000 or 2, you know, and most people will agree because most people are going to see and understand exactly what's going on. But really, we need to reach these people, the people that watch these fucking shills, programming people. That's what is scary, what's going on. Anyways, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this. And it does hurt me sometimes to see this stuff. I mean, like, it's the daily basis, you know, like almost every popular YouTuber that I click on or push in this shit, it really bothers me. It does a lot, because it's like, you know, this is what they're doing. But anyways, if you can, please keep yourself away from all this shit. Keep your children away from it. Call it out. And stand up to it. And, you know, if you want to come and support me, my Patreon link's in the description. It really helps out a lot. And if you can't do that, maybe just give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I really like your comments. I want to hear what you got to say about this. And yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this. It's gonna be a whole series. I mean, I've already done a whole bunch of videos on porn over the years, but I'm gonna expose the whole thing, you know, because it needs to be done. And it ain't gonna be fun. I don't like looking at it. I don't like seeing it, because I know how evil it is. It's really evil. So anyways, thanks so much for taking the time to listen. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. All the best.